to order the regular scheduled council meeting for Monday, June 10th, 2019. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
First District Councilwoman Myrna Maldonado.
Present.
Third District Councilwoman Brenda Walker.
Present.
Fourth District Councilwoman Christine Vasquez.
Present.
Fifth District Councilman Robert Garcia.
Present.
Sixth District Councilwoman Gilda Orange.
Present.
Councilman at Large Richard Medina.
Present.
Councilman at Large Emiliano Perez.
Present.
Councilman at Large Kenneth Monroe. Council President Lenny Francis.
Present. Can I have a motion to accept the public hearing and regular minutes for Monday, the 13th, 2019?
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Perez, seconded by Councilwoman Walker. Any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Maldonado.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Yes.
Perez.
Yes. Do we have any communications from the mayor? Any communications from department heads?
Accounts payable warrant 052919 PC 061019 DG 061419 PC 061019 CC 061019 LH.
So moved, Mr. President. Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Vasquez, seconded by Councilwoman Maldonado to accept accounts payable warrants as read. Any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Maldonado.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Garcia.
No.
Orange.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Perez.
Yes.
Yes.
Payroll warrants bi-weekly 053119.
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilwoman Maldonado to accept payroll warrant biweekly 053119. Any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Maldonado.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Perez.
Yes.
Francis.
Yes.
Payroll warrants monthly 053119.
So moved, Mr. President. Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilman Perez to accept payroll warrant monthly 053119. Any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Maldonado.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Perez.
Yes.
Yes. We have any committee reports?
Mr. President, I hope it's not out of order to make a subcommittee or a committee report on behalf of Chairman Monroe. Is that okay?
Yes.
The Committee on Abatements did meet last month. You have, I hope, in your packets, the summary of the documents that were submitted by the three companies. Let me just summarize quickly. I don't intend to read to you what you've already probably taken a look at, but there are three abatements that exist for the city of East Chicago that you've approved in prior councils over the years. The first one on the first page is ArcelorMittal, which is in year 5 of a 7-year abatement. The green check marks on my summary page are the items that I've checked within their paperwork. One, that they have the employment that they committed to. They committed 750 employees and they have in excess of 1,000 employees. 2, that they filed on time. And 3, that they made the investment that they committed to you that they would make, in this case, a $71 million investment in personal property. There's a calculation at the bottom that really has nothing to do with whether you say yes or no, but at least lets you know what the value is to the company. In this case, the value is just less than a $200,000 tax savings to the company. In the case of ArcelorMittal, they also pay to your Redevelopment Commission Education Fund an imposed fee that amounts to $30,000 or $40,000. In this case, $29,353 is my calculation of what that imposed fee will be this year. That's the fee that they pay for the right to have the abatement. That's the first item. I'm assuming it's okay if I just summarize all 3 and then you can make one motion together. BP is the second. It's in year 6 of 7-year abatement. This was approved a long time ago, and if you recall, it took a long time to build the project. So although it seems like we've been talking about this for 12 years, it took 5 years to build it, and we're only in the 6th year of the abatement portion. It was a massive investment of nearly $5 billion, probably the largest investment that we'd had to that time in the entire state of Indiana. They did submit on time. They do have the number of employees they committed to, and they did invest nearly 3 times what they told you they would invest. So I recommend, as I did with ArcelorMittal, that the BP abatement be approved. There is no imposed fee. This kind of predates. We weren't really doing imposed fees at that time. The third is Tredebi, which is a smaller abatement. They too have exceeded the commitment they made to you in employment. They submitted their documentation on time. They built more real property and more personal property than they committed to you, which is good. It's always good when they exceed their commitment to you. And they too will owe an imposed fee of about $10,000 that will go to the Redevelopment Commission Worker Education and Retraining Fund. In all 3 cases, I believe they've met their commitment to you and would merit an approval by this council so that the president could sign the compliance form and send to the auditor. That's my report.
Councilman Garcia.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the abatement for BP, Tredebi, and ArcelorMittal.
So moved. Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilman Medina, to approve the tax abatement report for the 3 companies listed. Any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Maldonado.
Yes.
Walker. Vasquez.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Perez.
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes. Do we have any board reports? Moving on to ordinances. Do we have any ordinances on first reading?
Yes. Ordinance 19-0009, sponsored Mayor Anthony Copeland, an ordinance vacating a portion of a public alley, Indiana Code 36-7-E-12/6.
So move in first and second reading, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilwoman Orange, to hear ordinance 19-0009 on second reading. Any discussion on the motion? Councilman Garcia?
Is anybody here to talk about it?
Richard Morrisroe, planning consultant and assistant city attorney. Marino Solorio had to be out of town today and asked if I would be here. I would refer you to the 2 maps, which I think spell out better than all the legal verbiage what you're looking at. You have one map right outside across the tracks next to Casablanca. Part of that has been an alley. The planning department is asking that that also be vacated as a public alley. It's been used for parking for years, but has the status of a public alley. He's doing that and the mayor and Marino Soloria are doing that together with the alley in the harbor, which is just south of the Boys and Girls Club. That alley is being vacated as part of the overall renovation of the Boys and Girls Club. There's a lot in there that, where a house has been torn down. It'll be a straight alley once this is vacated, and makes it easier both to get in and out of the alley that runs between Deodore and Elm, and also to go from Elm to Deodore and vice versa. Any further questions you have about those?
Councilman Medina?
Mr. Monroe, in reference to the lot across the street,
Yes,
we're vacating it, it's no longer going to be an alley.
correct.
Who's it going to belong to?
Belongs to the city still.
Okay, what does the city plan on doing with it?
I have not been part of the sort of intergroup meetings that are looking at that. I don't know if there's any immediate plan or not. I was told it is being part of assembling that property.
No, that's
When an alley or even a street is legally vacated, as in the proceeding, as Mr. Morris will correctly pointed out, the title still of that right-of-way still remains with the city, but the duty to maintain it and keep it open to the public for alleyway purposes, roadway purposes, driveway purposes goes away. Its use as an alley is being obliterated, basically.
Its use as an alley has been de facto obliterated for a generation or two.
so is it going to be replotted and eventually
It may be,
sold off?
that'd be an option. It simply will no longer have the status of an alley.
So is that the portion adjacent to the business that's there now?
It's between the building and the tracks. I am not positive as to whether that particular alley is the closest. In terms of ownership, you have the railroad owning something like 50 feet right-of-way. Then you have the city, and some of the other property was owned, as I understood it, by the successors to the old A&P store, where we one time had a massage parlor and different things. So there have been three owners of what is looked on as one continuous parking lot between Casablanca and the building on the west, the old A&P building, to the railroad.
So the portion,
This is a relatively small portion of that. It goes from where there was an alley. I don't think the alley is actually used between these lots. The one alley that is used is the one between the buildings facing Chicago Avenue, and behind them, the buildings that face Magoon on the one side, Indianapolis, Casablanca on the other.
okay, so the section between Magoon, that's still going to be considered an alley? I see that
I see that it is.
the shaded portion is not running all the way through.
I have not been part of that discussion. You may want to bring that to Marino's attention, to ask that question before passing on third reading, or you may want to table it tonight.
Yeah, my concern is why are we only vacating
I don't know.
70 feet of it, more or less?
I understand. It's only half of it. One would think, looking at it, that why wouldn't you be vacating the western part as well?
Are we going to sell it to
I
the
cannot,
adjacent business, or?
I cannot say.
Okay.
Mr. President?
Yes.
The council members look at the packet that you have, the third to last page, the page right in front of the platforms that you were referring to, Councilman.
Yes.
You'll be setting this petition for a public hearing for our next meeting on the 24th. So there are 2 weeks of time if you set it for the public hearing, which is what is needed. That's the action that needs to be taken tonight. You'll have 2 weeks of time to troubleshoot the issue, get questions answered, and then you wouldn't take final action until the 24th, no sooner. satisfied with the vacating petition as presented, you don't need to approve it on third reading on the 24th at the time of the completion of the public hearing.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, roll call to adopt ordinance 19-0009 on second reading.
Maldonado,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Medina,
No.
Perez,
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have any ordinances on second reading? Excuse me.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Would the council consider also at this time a motion that simply sets the matter for the scheduled public hearing on the 24th at 6 p.m.?
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Perez, seconded by Councilman Garcia. To hear ordinance 19-0009 for a public hearing. Any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Maldonado,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes. Madam Clerk, do we have any ordinances on second reading? Any ordinances on third reading?
Ordinance 19-0008, sponsored Councilwoman Hilda Orange and Councilman Kenneth Monroe, an ordinance establishing a truancy court program and affirming parental responsibility for school attendance within the city of East Chicago.
Councilwoman Orange?
Mr. President, this time I would like to table that for that third reading. Judge Morris is here tonight. She did have some concerns. Our attorney had some concerns. And so hopefully the lawyers can get together and figure out which way this should go and satisfy the judge's concerns, and then we can bring this back.
Second that motion.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Orange, seconded by Councilman Medina, to table ordinance 19-0008. Any questions on the motion? Councilman
Yeah, I'd
Garcia?
just like to, if there's any future meetings on this, I would like to be included, because there's some concerns I have. I've been reading up on it with the IC code, and I have some concerns on it too, so I'd like to be part of that also.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Maldonado,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes.
Mr. President. And members of the
Council.
and Councilwoman Orange. Mr. Langer, you saw Mr. Langer's letter on behalf of the judge.
Yes.
Attorney Snow today, late in the afternoon, sent out a revised version to Attorney Langer that attempts to address the concerns that he expressed
Right.
in that letter, so we would simply be waiting for Attorney Schmall on behalf of Judge Morris to now comment on the further revision
What
that Attorney Snow made.
Attorney Small is here tonight, but what the plans are is for them to get together and be able to hash out whatever it needs to be before it's brought back for a third. And if also, I'm going to be asking them to include you also, Attorney Buscemi, so that everybody can get it, we can get it right. It's too important not to get right. And being that the large portion of this is going to be for the judge, we want her to be comfortable with whatever the outcomes are here, because at the end of the day, whatever happens comes before her court. So I would like for it to have been sooner, but I'd rather for not to rush through it so that we can get it right. And if there's any concerns by the council, I wish they would forward them to our attorney. Then that way they can look into it and we can move forward.
Councilman Medina?
Mr. President, I've received maybe 3 different copies of this ordinance. I would request that upon finalizing the final revision, we have it properly numbered and the revisions underlined so that we can make sure that we are adopting the proper ordinance.
Yes.
Got that, Counselor?
Thank you.
If it's of any benefit at this time, I have copies for the council, for the clerk, and then copies for the council of the current revised version with today's revisions underscored, if council members would like.
But it's possible it might be revised after that as well, so
That's my
you can
point.
just hold on to it.
Thank you.
Do we have any resolutions?
Yes, resolution 19-00. Authorizing a temporary transfer to depleted funds that facilitate demolition projects by state artist program.
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilwoman Walker. Any discussion on the motion? Councilman Garcia?
Anybody here to speak on this, Mr. President?
How you doing?
All right.
Damian Ventura, demolition coordinator for the city. I'm stepping in for James today. He's out of town.
Can you give us a breakdown on the ordinance, on the resolution, please?
Yeah, sure. So I'm referencing the page I think everyone got. Basically, the city of East Chicago, the East Chicago Building Department has depleted the funds that they have for the hardest hit. So we're asking if the council would transfer $150,000 into that depleted fund so we can go ahead and continue to pay contractors, et cetera.
And that's-
Councilman Garcia?
And that's with grants, ain't it? We could mention grants with that?
Hardest hit grant?
Right.
Yes, yes. So the state would, of course, the city recoups the money from the state.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maldonado.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Perez.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Do we have any old business? Councilman Garcia?
Yeah, Mr. President, and the council, I know it's been quite a few months. I've been trying to get some information from the PD. To this date, I still haven't gotten them. Attorney Buscemi, have you received anything?
Regarding ShotSpotter,
ShotSpotter and the other information?
there's been a official communication sent to requesting the records to the police department, and no records have been provided to
How about information reference last year's crime stats and this year's crime stats? Nothing? We haven't received nothing?
Now, we haven't requested crime stats per se, at your direction, we requested the ShotSpotter.
Yeah, as with that, we sent some letters to the police chief reference to crime stats. In saying that, we're in June, the 6th month of the year, and I still haven't received information. And it continues to be almost a pattern with me of trying to get information. It shouldn't be no problem with me getting this type of information. I know last week there's been new leadership appointed to the PD, and that's welcoming news because there've been some tremendous picks at the PD right now. But I would like to subpoena the information because it's just been too long for me not getting this information, and I should have received it a long time ago. So I would like to get a subpoena for the information.
Mr. President, members of the council, if that's the case, then I think the best course of action would be for the council to, by motion, direct, in its authority, it has authority under the statute, to direct the issuance of the subpoena for the ShotSpotter data provided by the police department.
Councilwoman Orange?
I think for the fact that we just got a new police chief is to give him a chance to give the information. And then if he didn't give you the information, I would go along with subpoenaing. But I think that you got a new police chief and give him a chance to be able to respond.
Mr. President.
Councilman
Yeah,
Garcia.
I understand what you're saying, Councilwoman Orange, but it's been a pattern of me not receiving this information. This administration knew the information I asked for. I still haven't received it, you know. I think it goes beyond whoever's the police chief, but I still haven't received it. Before I would have subpoena the department head. I'm not subpoenaing the department head. I'm just subpoenaing the information.
Councilman Perez?
Mr. Buscemi, how about the information I requested? Has that been sent over to you
Regarding what?
regarding the employees, part-time versus full-time?
We made a renewed request to service your request the way it was presented, which is part-time and full-time, and we haven't yet received the full-time.
And when did you send that request out?
Request was sent last week.
Last week, okay.
Councilman Garcia?
Yeah, Mr. President, and the reason I bring it up, because I know they have a new contract with a contractor, and they giving them all this information. Here, a contractor is getting all this information, and I'm a councilman in the city, and I can't receive this. And that contract, I guess the program they got that's feeding is building blocks, and here, contractor comes in, requests his information, because the city has a contract with him. Here, this contractor gets that information, no problem. Here, I requested for months and months and months, and I can't get it. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. I should be able to receive this information. I make a motion to subpoena the information.
Second. Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilman Medina, to subpoena the police department for the shot spotters and the crime facts or stats.
Yes.
Any motion? Any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Maldonado?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Garcia?
Yes.
Orange?
No.
Medina?
Yes.
Perez?
Yes.
Francisco?
Yes. Any other old business? Moving on to new business. Do we have any new business?
One item, Mr. President,
Yes.
you'll recall that the council members and yourself and I received the communication from the clerk's office regarding the issue of the Municipal Ordinance Violation Bureau not being in existence. Therefore, based upon the advice that the clerk's office has received from the state court administrator, the clerk's office and the city court is required to collect court costs on traffic tickets. And we discussed the issue with the clerk's office today. It's my recommendation that you as president, Mr. President, appoint a committee, an appropriate committee, whatever that would be, of the council members on the topic and determine which path to follow. The two paths that are available is either keep the present system as it is, and if you keep the present system as it is, then court costs must be imposed and paid by the violators for parking tickets. Or the other alternative would be you enact a ordinance that creates a city court ordinance violation bureau, and then with the ordinance violation bureau, there are no court costs that are obligated to be paid by the violator. The violator can simply come into the clerk's office and pay the fine on the traffic ticket, which under the current ordinance, first offense is $25. Is that right?
Right, it's a $25 first offense ticket, but then the court cost is what, $198? Is that right? Or $135? So for a $25 ticket, you're going to tax them another $135, so.
Decision needs to be made one round. If you don't want the court costs of $135.50 to have to be paid, then we would have to enact an ordinance that recreates the municipal ordinance violations bureau. Vivian, I was not aware of it until we talked today. There was at one time an ordinance violations bureau, but at some point in the past, it was abolished, correct? and the judge should be part of those discussions along with any member of the council that's interested in the topic, and the clerk's office needs to be participating in those discussions also.
Police department, and also,
Attorney Dawkins is currently prosecuting the violation, but the police department involvement is necessary because they're writing the traffic tickets.
Yeah, at this point, I'd like though to make, to put it under committee, I'd like to put it under public safety, which is the chairperson is Councilman Perez, and you have Councilwoman Vasquez on there, along with Councilwoman Orange.
Correction, Mr. President, the chairman is Councilman
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what?
Garcia.
I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm sorry.
2018.
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong one. I apologize. But let's put it under the Public Safety Committee.
I'll get a meeting, I'll get together with Attorney Buscemi and clerk's office and whoever else wants to participate. So,
Thank you. Councilman Garcia?
yeah, since we're in new business, I'd like to commend the mayor on his pick for the chief, police chief, deputy chief, the commanders, and the patrol division also. I think this PD is headed in a lot better direction now with this current leadership. I want to commend them on that. Also, Mr. President, understand there's going to be a State Board of Accounts exit meeting this week. Just want to know if we all invited to that meeting.
I will get back to you and let you know.
We can send it out.
Yeah, she's,
Yeah, it's okay.
everybody did get,
You said 12 and 10? So there's two meetings?
No, it's June 12th at 10 a.m.
in the mayor's office.
Thank you.
That's a closed meeting, by the way. It's not public.
Right. Any other new business? Moving on to public expression, we do have one. Please, if you can keep your comments to 3 minutes. We do have Miss Elizabeth Palacio.
Hi, members of the council. Thank you for hearing me. First of all, I'd like to say I'm glad I'm here, and I wanted to thank all of you members, members of the East Chicago Common Council. I'm going to read you this letter. Thank you for passing Resolution 19-003, adopted on March 13, 2019, calling on the Canadian National Railway and the CSX Railway to use available technology that cuts diesel emissions in the rail yard located next to our neighborhood and by our schools. We're grateful for you for listening to our complaint and acting on it. Thank you so much. We hope that the rail companies act to minimize the air pollution and safeguard the health of those of us who live and work and attend school near our rail yard. Thank you again for your work on this matter. I signed it, and my friend that worked on it with me, Connie Washala. Thank you so much. I have a copy for the council. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. A motion to adjourn, please.
So move.
Motion was made by Councilman Medina, seconded by Councilman Garcia. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, good night.